The ocean is dark, and it is everywhere. A small inflatable raft rises and falls, the fabric creaking with each swell. The wind has dropped, but the water keeps moving, as if it has its own memory of violence. A man sits low inside the raft, legs bent, back hunched, conserving heat. His skin is cracked by salt. His lips are split. He is thinner than he has ever been. He has been awake too long. The raft pitches, and for a moment the horizon disappears. There is only black water and the hiss of foam. He grips the raft's lifeline and waits for the next wave to pass. Waiting has become a skill. So has not panicking. There is no land. There has not been land for weeks. He listens for sounds, anything that doesn't belong to the ocean. Engines, voices, the slap of a hull, but the night offers nothing. The stars are bright, indifferent. Time stretches and collapses. Minutes feel like hours. Days blur into a single grinding effort to stay alive. This is the most dangerous moment, not because of a storm, but because of exhaustion, because the body is failing in small, quiet ways, because survival now depends on decisions that seem almost too small to matter. A hand moves, a line is checked, water is rationed. The man stays alive, and to understand how he reached this point, alone, adrift in the Atlantic, we have to go back. I'm Eldridge Cross. This is a true story of survival. In early 1982, Steven Callahan is an experienced sailor. He has spent years at sea, crossed oceans, worked as a boat builder and naval architect. He is not reckless, he is methodical. He sets out from the Canary Islands in a small sailboat named Napoleon Solo, heading west across the Atlantic. The voyage is meant to be routine by ocean-crossing standards, solo, but within the bounds of what many sailors attempt. He carries safety equipment. He carries an inflatable life raft. He carries a desalinator, a device that can turn seawater into drinking water. The Atlantic at first cooperates. Days pass with the usual rhythms of solo sailing, adjusting sails, checking lines, navigating by sextant, sleeping in short stretches, listening to the wind and the hull. The boat moves steadily westward, away from land, into the long middle of the ocean, where nothing interrupts the horizon. Then one night, everything changes. It happens fast. A sudden, violent collision. A sound and a shudder that travel through the hull. Callahan is thrown. The boat lurches unnaturally. He has struck something. Later believed to be a whale, water begins pouring in. He moves immediately, instinct taking over. He checks the hull. The damage is catastrophic. The boat is sinking, and it is sinking now. There is no time to save the boat. He grabs what he can. Emergency supplies, navigation tools, the desalinator. He activates the inflatable life raft. He steps off Napoleon Solo as it slips beneath the surface. The boat disappears. There is no wreckage to cling to, no mast sticking out of the water, just a man in a raft, floating alone in the Atlantic Ocean. The silence after the sinking is immense. At first, survival feels manageable. The raft is small but functional. It has compartments, a canopy, limited storage. Callahan takes inventory with care, because care is all he has. Food is minimal. Emergency rations intended for days, not months. Water is critical. The desalinator becomes the center of his existence. Each day he works it by hand, pumping seawater through membranes to extract fresh water. The process is slow and physically demanding. He establishes routines immediately. Morning, check the raft, inspect for leaks, pump water, fish if possible. Midday, maintain equipment, Navigate roughly to keep track of drift. Evening, ration food, secure everything before night. The ocean provides fish, but catching them is not guaranteed. He fashions lines. He learns which scraps will attract what kind of life. He eats raw fish when he must, aware of the risks, but aware of hunger too. The sun burns his skin, salt stiffens his clothes, the raft is never fully dry, and still he survives. Time stretches, days become weeks. The ocean is no longer a backdrop, it is an active presence. Sharks appear, curious, circling the raft. They bump it, sometimes hard enough to startle him awake. He learns their patterns, learns when to stay still, when to assert presence with sound or movement. Storms arrive without warning. Waves break over the raft, filling it with water. He bails constantly, hands numb, muscles screaming. At night, the raft feels especially fragile, a thin skin between life and a dark, endless depth. Sleep comes in fragments. The body never fully recovers. He grows thinner, his joints ache. Salt sores open on his skin and refuse to heal. Infections threaten. Every small injury becomes a serious concern. Yet the routines continue. Pump water, catch fish, repair gear, stay alive. Isolation does something subtle and dangerous. There is no one to talk to. No external sense of time beyond the sun and stars. Thoughts loop, memories intrude. Doubt creeps in during the quiet moments, especially at night. Callahan resists despair not by denying it, but by managing it. He focuses on tasks, breaks time into pieces small enough to endure. He avoids thinking too far ahead. He keeps his mind engaged with navigation, even though he has no means of propulsion. Tracking drift gives structure to the days. It preserves a sense of orientation in a world that otherwise feels unmoored. There are moments of beauty, bioluminescence glowing in the water at night, fish flashing silver in the sun, but they do not soften the reality. They coexist with fear. The ocean does not care. Ships appear. More than once a vessel passes within sight. Callahan signals with what he has. Flares, mirrors, movement, but the ocean is vast and the raft is small. The ships do not see him. Each missed rescue costs something. Hope drains incrementally, not all at once. He acknowledges the disappointment, then returns to the work of staying alive. Storms continue. Equipment degrades. The desalinator requires constant maintenance. If it fails, survival becomes impossible. He cleans it obsessively, protects it from salt and damage. Food grows scarcer. Fishing becomes less reliable. His body consumes itself. Still, he adapts. This is the hardest part to explain. Not the beginning, where adrenaline sharpens everything. Not the end, where rescue becomes imminent, but the long middle, where nothing changes except the slow erosion of strength. 76 days is not 76 moments of drama. It is repetition, fatigue, endurance measured in hours. Callahan's weight drops dramatically, his vision weakens, his hands lose dexterity. He adjusts his methods again and again, conserving energy wherever possible. The raft becomes both shelter and prison. He speaks aloud sometimes, not in madness but in grounding. The sound of a human voice, even his own, reminds him that he exists. The ocean continues to move him westward. One day the water changes, the color shifts, the smell is different. Birds appear, real birds, not the endless flying fish that skim the surface. The swell behaves differently. Land is near. This realization is dangerous. It introduces urgency where patience has been survival. He forces himself to proceed carefully. The raft is still vulnerable. He is still weak. Eventually, the outline of an island emerges. He drifts toward it, unable to steer, at the mercy of current and wind. Reefs threaten. Waves break hard and unpredictably. The raft survives the approach. Callahan reaches the island of Marie Galante, near Guadeloupe. After 76 days adrift, he collapses on land. Rescue is not cinematic. It is quiet, medical care, food in careful amounts, the slow realization that the ordeal is over, even as the body and mind lag behind. Recovery takes time. Callahan survives. He writes about the experience not to dramatize it, but to document it, to record what actually happens when preparation meets catastrophe, and when survival becomes a series of small, disciplined choices. The story of Steven Callahan is not about heroics in the traditional sense. It is about attention, about noticing leaks before they sink you, about rationing hope the same way you ration water, about refusing to let exhaustion decide for you. Survival, in this case, did not require extraordinary strength. It required consistency, respect for reality, and a willingness to keep going long after the situation stopped making sense. The ocean gave him nothing for free. He stayed alive anyway, and when the water finally let him go, it did so without ceremony, leaving behind a quiet truth that survival is often not a single act of bravery, but thousands of ordinary decisions made correctly, one after another, in silence.